Many, and I mean many, smart home enthusiasts have approached me and said, "Paul, my wife has this unholy obsession with our existing light switches and won't let me change them out for smart light fittings." I would never stand for such a thing personally because I'm the alpha in this house. I'm the big dog. What if I told you there's a sneaky way that you could smartify her boring ass light switches and she'd never even know? Oh, you beauty. Look at Paul Hibbert doing DIY. Unbelievable. Turn light board 1 on.
Okay.
Oh. Woohoo! Getting that working was as easy as getting points for Gryffindor if you're Harry Potter. That kid's only got a fart.
50 points.
I'm joking. That was not easy. Bloody right, fine, I'm going to B&Q. But I'm going to show you exactly how I achieved that, and more importantly, I have a non-light switch related use for this. It is so exciting. Thanks to Aqara for sponsoring today's video and for sending me their Aqara T2 Dual Relay. This is a clever little box that you can wire into basically anything to make it smart. If you can do basic wiring, then you can smartify pretty much any electrical household item. Okay, that shouldn't have happened. I mean, you probably can, not me. Somebody better than me. However, despite my reputation for being dreadful at DIY, I did actually manage to make this practice board to show you exactly how this could be wired to make a dumb light switch smart. But you could also just as easily do this.
So now when it's wired up correctly, I can use the garage door like normal, as well as use it from my voice assistant or the app. So here from the garage door. Hey Siri, turn off garage. It worked.
Brett from Tech with Brett there, controlling his mum's garage door. His mum, who is definitely not sick of his But that's not all. Today, I intend to wire this thing to my boiler to turn my boiler on and off when my Aqara temperature sensor says that the house is either too hot or too cold. When I say I will wire my boiler, what I mean is a real man will wire my boiler. Because... So you might be wondering, is it Wi-Fi, is it Zigbee? It's actually Matter over Zigbee using an Aqara bridge. So this means that because it's Zigbee, you could connect it directly to Home Assistant using a CONBEE stick and have Aqara out of the equation altogether. If you want to use Aqara, which I do actually recommend because their ecosystem is awesome, you can connect it to either Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant, or in fact even Apple HomeKit using their smart bridge. Where are you going? Listen, their smart bridge is awesome. In fact, as I've said previously, this is an Aqara Zigbee gateway. Rather ridiculously, so is this sexy voiced cat.
Normal link confirmed.
Stupid sexy cat. Best of all though, whether you're using Home Assistant or in fact using Aqara, the whole thing operates locally, which means that even if Aqara go bust tomorrow, or in fact your internet is down, all of your automations will carry on working, which is really important. Most awesomely of all though, is this thing is also an energy monitor for whatever it is that you have running through it. It makes me want to wire it into every part of my house. It's got both dry and wet contact modes, which enables you to connect it to things like plug sockets, but also AC/DC powered devices too. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. can't play the next bit, so that's that. AC/DC. Too many cutaway jokes! It also acts as a Zigbee repeater for other Aqara products to help extend your mesh. So this is a really cool device to have somewhere centrally in your home, which is exactly why it's going to do great for controlling my boiler, because that is the center of my home. So without further ado, let's get this thing wired in. Now there are some major caveats here because electricity is utterly deadly. So the first thing is, if you don't know what you're doing with electrics, just don't even try it. It is seriously dangerous and you're better off just getting an electrician. They'll do this for about £60. Don't risk your life for absolutely no reason. The second caveat is that this thing requires a neutral wire if you want to do what I'm about to do. So America, you'll have no problem with this at all because almost all of you have neutral wires. In the UK, we have them a whole lot less. Secondly, and please, this is serious, no, I'm not going to joke around here, please use a multimeter or an electrician's screwdriver to check the electric is off. Do not trust your fuse board. If your house was wired by a literal muppet, switching the fuses off might mean that your electricity is still live at the light switch because people are stupid and it's still possible to do that. You should always check your multimeter works first too, so you should test it on something that you know is live to make sure there is a reading coming through, then turn your electric off and test it on the thing that you want to actually make a change to. Never, ever trust the fuse box.
So electricity is terribly dangerous, so there'll be no jokes in this section, just lots of sweating and crying. So, first things first is we need to apparently bridge these two connections with a little red wire they sent us, so I'm going to get that wired into there first. Does that work? Did that look good in editing? I hope so. So, red wire, bridging those two pins. And this goes into there. So this now has live and neutral. The wires to the bulb go into L1 and L2, so I should put my left bulb in L1. And my right bulb in L2. So at the bottom here we've got switch 1, switch 2 and the common. So I'm going to wire this switch, one wire into that side, and then another wire for the other switch into that side. Boom! The switch should be telling this thing whether to turn those on and off. Something tells me I have to bridge these terminals anyway. Now I have that bridged, so both things have power. One more time, let's plug it in. Woohoo! So theoretically, I should be able to just press that plus button, add accessory, search for T2, add it to the stupid sexy cat gateway. Woohoo! Thank you very much, and it's already added itself to she that should not be named. Brilliant.
If everything has gone to plan this week, there now follows some footage of my father installing this into my boiler and me being all excited because it worked.
On, switch it off, boiler goes off.
Woohoo!
There you go.
You will probably want to check between Aqara's website and your boiler's manufacturer's website to make sure that it can actually be controlled in this way before you purchase it. I shall put some more details about that in the description. Aqara have also given some examples that I haven't featured today, such as controlling motorized blinds, which are not smart. You could smartify some motorized blinds. You could do some evil stuff with this. You could use it, right, to turn off your kid's PlayStation after a certain amount of energy had been used. One of the examples Aqara gives on their website is to wire this relay into your mains electrical socket. Now in the UK, a mains electrical socket is rated for 13 amps, whereas the Aqara relay is only rated for 10. So this poses a mild problem. Now, people have really overblown this in Brett's comment section. They're trying to burn down my house! But basically, it's not dangerous because it has a safety cutout. You would have to power 3 850 watt PCs and run them all like gaming to their maximum settings for this to even become a factor. At which point, it won't catch fire in the wall, its electrical safety cutout will just trip and it will stop working. So you'd have to really be pushing this thing, and even then, it's not dangerous. It's a hecking chonker. It's absolutely enormous. You will find it difficult to get this thing in your back box.
That's what she said.
If you have a very deep back box in your wall, you will still probably need a spacer. I bought the biggest back box I could find from B&Q for this project, and I still needed to put a spacer in, otherwise I couldn't get the switch back on once the relay was inside. And that was with really neat wiring. So, worth bearing in mind. There is no 50% option, so it's either on or off. There's no dimming, there's no setting a motorized blind to 50%. You are either sending an off signal or an on signal, and that's all the choice you have. If you have an open therm boiler, you would be better off with an open therm based solution for controlling your heating. This is literally on, off, on, off. It will come on when it's told the house is too cold, it will go off when the house is too warm. Open therm is a slightly smarter technology. Your boiler may or may not have it. Mine doesn't, so this works just fine for me. Now, you might be asking yourself, why don't I just buy a Shelly relay instead? Shelly is cheaper. And the answer to that is, you could do. The only thing is that Shelly, although it is awesome, is Wi-Fi based. If you're specifically looking for a Zigbee based relay, this is the best of the best. This is something that you can plug into your wall and make it do two things instead of one, because it is a dual relay. That's something you can connect into the Aqara ecosystem, which is actually really important because I think Aqara is probably the best ecosystem out there. And finally, it works with Home Assistant. If you're looking for a Home Assistant relay that works with Zigbee, this is it. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, it was brought to you by these incredible people. These are my patrons from Patreon, and without them, there would be no video. I'd be working in a call center. If you want to be one of those incredible people, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I will genuinely love you forever. These are my Facebooks and my TikToks and my Instagrams and my X's and my Threads. Come and hang out there and we can be best friends. See you next time. And then you're going to look at it and go, just don't know what I'm doing. I'm completely lost.